It's Sunday, the Sabbath, but RGT does not rest because RGT needs people to repent for their sins. What sins, you might ask? The sins of poor reporting of Switch 2 things. Because obviously, the past few days have been absolutely crazy for Nintendo Switch 2 related things. There's been accessory leaks, there's been hardware leaks, potentially software leaks, and with all of these things comes an aura of excitement, and rightfully so. People are looking forward to this next system, and I've had a ton of fun covering it, and obviously a lot of other people have as well. But there's one thing I always notice with this sort of thing is that when people tend to report on every little thing, they never really come along and correct when something goes against their narrative because it doesn't line up with their narrative. They don't want to put out there that maybe they got duped a little bit. And it seems like there's been a lot of duping over some certain situations that have been happening. And those people aren't going to talk about it, but I will, because I don't care. I always keep an open mind, especially with some of these sources. The first thing we're going to talk about is a source that I pretty much told you guys I wasn't 100% sure on. Remember that Mario Kart 9 situation? Red Dead Redemption 2 situation? We got a trailer date leak, a system release leak for this system from an individual who supposedly got PS5 Pro, the window of that release accurate. They got Nintendo Alarmo accurate, even though they initially had said that it was a Switch 2 thing. Well, they actually took to Discord to give us a big update on their inside information. Look, the truth is I made everything up, man. I mean, there you go. Like, what do I here? Let me zoom in on it here. So for all the people that were saying, like, Mario Kart 9, a new 3D Mario, Red Dead Redemption 2. What did I say in my video about this? I said that, you know, they're probable guesses. The timeline of things didn't really make sense to me. The software side, like, yeah, Nintendo's going to make another Mario Kart and another 3D Mario, and maybe Red Dead Redemption is one of those games that leaked on the French website from Rockstar, but maybe it's not. You know, there's also the whole Take-Two side of things when it comes to that, so I don't necessarily think that it is a foregone conclusion that it is Red Dead 2, but it doesn't matter because this individual, the same person who was talking about all these dates, who was talking about all these software leaks and stuff like that, came out and said they made everything up. And, like, that kind of bothers me. It bothers me that so many people just dove right in with that and didn't really look at it with any sort of analytical eye or critical eye. Like, I was very fair. I was kind of middle of the road with it. I was like, I personally don't think that there's any sort of credence to this, but maybe there is. And then when this information comes out and it kind of debunks what videos previously and what you know, articles that people have previously made, and they don't come along and update the audience, like, that just kind of irks me. It's a personal thing that just kind of irks me a little bit, but all that really matters is that all that stuff was just BS. It was all made up, all those dates, all those things. It wasn't based on insider information or anything like that. An individual made all that up. That's not to say that those things might not happen. There could potentially be a Mario Kart 9 at the launch of this system, and maybe it is shown off in the first trailer. But this person didn't accurately leak it. If you throw enough shit at the wall, something is bound to stick. That's just how it is. A broken clock is right twice a day. But there's another story that we have to do some clarifications on, because boy, oh boy, did this just pop up out of nowhere. So, of course, Genki was at CES 2025 showcasing some Nintendo Switch 2 accessories. We saw Joy-Con holders, controllers, screen protectors, all sorts of wild stuff from them. They had videos, they had on the floor sort of demonstrations, they had a size comparison thing, and a story that came out from that was that allegedly a Genki representative was trying to pass it off as like an authentic thing, saying that they bought it on the black market. Now, whether or not that is true, if that is something that they said, and I'm sure Genki is watching this video because I know that they watch these videos, don't do things like that. Even if it's a joke, even if it's a tongue-in-cheek thing, don't do things like that, because that kind of shines a negative light on you. Because Genki did come along and clarify that, hey, you know, this was something that was just based on the prototype dimensions that have been floating out there from other accessory manufacturers, and that's what they are basing it on. But saying that you got it off of a black market thing, like, that just shines a negative light And, you know, I'm not saying it's the worst thing in the world, but I don't feel like it helps the overall situation. Like, I'm sure if it was said, it was kind of tongue in cheek. I mean, I would say something like that, but just a little piece of advice with this, you know, you got to tread carefully, because it does seem like something may have happened at CES 2025, because Genki kind of disappeared in the middle of the night. They were supposed to be there for the whole showing of CES 2025, but they left a little bit early. And some reports have come out about this, basically stating why. You might wonder if something like this is over on Go Nintendo. If something like this caught the attention of the the notoriously sue-happy and overstepping Nintendo. Well, according to French journalist Julien Telloc, it has. Telloc was at CES 2025 and apparently heard from one of the employees at Genki's booth that they had been approached by lawyers representing Nintendo during the show. You can see his account of the events along with an English translation below. So we have a YouTube short here from Julien Telloc, which I'm not going to watch it because it's summarized right down here. I spoke with the guy from Genki just behind me. He told me that Nintendo had already sent the lawyers their way, but Genki has nothing to worry about because they never signed any papers with Nintendo, no confidentiality agreement, no NDAs. So the Japanese brand is in the clear. And because of this, people started running with this whole sort of crazy narrative, like Nintendo is going to come after them and sue them and lawyer stuff like that. And then we got an update from Genki themselves about this situation. And of course, some people believe it, some people don't. Just wrapped up an epic CES 2025. It's been a sobering drive to the wildfires in LA. Shout out to all, if I have any viewers in LA, like, stay safe, dog. Like, you can always replace possessions. You can't replace yourself, you know? So, you know, be smart. If you need to evacuate, evacuate. And I hope everything works out there. And so basically this sobering drive, we'll be catching up with friends and family affected. And one more thing, don't believe all the rumors. And we have the Genki team here lined up. Of course, there's people, I mean, this guy, he hit the nail on the head. Shout outs to Retro Games HQ. He knows the deal. But then there's people here, you know, saying stuff like, clowns, rest in peace, your company. You know, there was Reddit on the case and they're trying to sue them and stuff like that. So where does the truth actually stand with this? It's probably somewhere in the middle. Like, I can't imagine that Nintendo was super happy to see them on the show floor with Switch 2 products. But if you're not signing an NDA agreement, you're not signing a confidentiality agreement because you're not working with Nintendo on this. You are a third-party company in the purest sense of the word. There's only so much stroke that they really have with that sort of thing. There's only so much push that they can actually do. They might ask you to be like, hey, you know, don't do that. Like, come on, man. Like, something like that, and then they abided by it. But was it some sort of shakedown mentality where they busted up in there and, you know, cleared them out? I don't think it is. Don't believe all the rumors, as the Genki Twitter account says at the end of the day. So once again, this will be something that, you know, circles all around the internet, and people, I've already seen people making videos, the Nintendo Ninjas strike again. And the one thing I find very funny, and this is what we're going to close the video on, is I've seen several different content creators like celebrating based on the fact that they think that Nintendo actively went after Genki and, you know, took them down. Like, oh, don't mess with Nintendo. And to that I say, what the hell is wrong with you? Like, you profited. You made money making content, writing articles, making videos about Genki being there. And without them, you would have had nothing. You had tangible evidence of stuff to cover. But without them, you would have had nothing. But now you're saying, oh yeah, go Nintendo, go attack them. It's like, what the hell is wrong with you, dude? Like, do you not see how ridiculous that sounds? Look, Nintendo can do what they want to do. They are a large company. I don't have to agree with everything that they do. There are lots of things I do not agree with as far as their business practices are concerned. If this was some sort of shakedown at CES 2025, I do think that's overstepping your boundaries. However, if this was a conversation that happened and they were kind of like, hey, you know, can you do this for us so that, you know, nothing else has to happen, then sure, that's a very reasonable situation. That is something that is somewhat understandable, but the information is already out there. That information that you covered, that you profited on, but now you're dick riding Nintendo for doing the right thing. It's clown shoe stuff. It's clown shoe stuff, and I have to wonder, like, who raised you people? Because that's ridiculous to me. I'm sure Genki will be fine with this. They are a successful company. They will make Nintendo Switch 2 products. They already have a whole line of them, and we got to see them at CES. And everyone got something fun to talk about. There was some excitement for whenever Nintendo reveals this thing because we're learning more and more about it. I'm just saying, man, keep your... Just like, watch what you say with stuff like that, because, you know, it gives you a look that... I mean, it's not a good look, homie, and, you know, maybe that's the image you want to put out there, but for me, that's kind of like, you seem untrustworthy at the end of the day. Let me know what you think about this in the comments section down below, though. Are you surprised that Mr. I got Alarmo wrong, and I said it was a Switch 2, but it was really Alarmo? Are you surprised that he just made everything up, and then people just ate it up hand over fist, and then didn't bother to tell you that, hey, it was all bullshit? And what do you think about the Genki situation? Do you think it was a shakedown? Do you think it was a hostile situation? Or do you think that there is more to the story, and it's probably somewhere more in the middle, probably not as big of a deal as it's being made out to be? Let me know in the comments down below. And as always, guys, thank you for checking out this video. Hope you have a great Sunday. Like I said, if you're out in LA, stay safe. You know, like I said, man, possessions can always be replaced. You can't replace yourself, though, or, you know, your friends or your family or something like that. So, you know, stay safe, make smart decisions, and I hope for the best for you. And as always, I'll catch you guys on the next video. Later.